Amazing! Amazing! on, man. Amazing! Amazing!
got to stand up strong. Think the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up, and throughout the world today.
What the?
He black. Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. And my bad. I'm in to see you a little bit late. I was dealing with some issues out there. We had to get the stuff working right. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy, the biblical question: which do you love more, your true life or your false life? Which do you love more, your true life or your false life? Amazing question. And the responses have been amazing. And I say that because you're thinking. Some of you are examining yourself. Amazing, huh? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. If you don't have time right now to sit and watch it live, I know some of you podcast it later because you're busy. But you could be listening anyway by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us. Like, ring the bell, blah, blah, blah. Follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. All right? Amazing. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. So, believe it or not, it's Friday again. I think we returned to work on Tuesday, though, huh? We didn't come on Monday. Or some of us didn't even come on Tuesday. What the? So it was a short work week. And it's Friday again. And as you know, Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Day. Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Day. And even though we returned on Tuesday, I think Hake returned on Tuesday, and that was it.
What the?
Hassan returned on Wednesday. I don't know. He black. Amazing. So it's a Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is Friday, right? And whatever is on your mind, express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
What is your biggest fear?
That's right.
The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
We need strong men, and I think many of them...
We need strong men that listen to women. That's the big difference, ain't it?
Strong
There's a
men do not listen
groundbreaking
to
new study
women.
which has found a strong link between racism and chronic poor health conditions for black and brown communities in America.
All gender restrooms.
Bless me, Father, for I'm about to sin.
Isn't it just time for women to run the planet? I mean...
Amazing. Now do you believe me when I say that my country is not coming back? It's not coming back. Adios, America. Bye-bye, America. Because of dumb people like that. Because of blind people like that. This black guy blaming white people about for black people lacking good health. Did you ever imagine that? White people, did y'all ever think that one day you would be blamed for the poor health conditions of black people? Now do you believe me when I say that? No, but most black people believe that white people are superior. They call you white supremacy. They try to take your stuff. They try to put fear in you, and they're succeeding at that, by the way. But they try to put fear in you to take your stuff. They say that now you're responsible. They want your money because they are not able to work for themselves and build and do. They want affirmative action reparation. And now they say you're to blame for them not being healthy. You have great power, white people. What are you afraid of with all this power? The blacks see that you have it. Why can't you see it? The blacks see white supremacy, and they're afraid of it. And they're trying to destroy it. They're calling it bad because they're jealous of it. They want you to lower your standard in universities and places like, have to get a A or a B or a C to get into the university. Lower those standards. That's white. You don't have to get on an airplane and act like you have sense. You got to fight. White people, black people really think you have more power than they do, and that you're smarter, and you have the drive to make things beautiful and make things happen. My country is not coming back. Now you even have the power to control the health of black people. If you don't help them, they ain't going to take care of themselves. They're just going to eat more and more pig feet. Pig feet. P-I-G. Feet. My country is not coming back. And if you don't get your priorities right, you're going to be hiding in bunkers from the blacks. You're going to find yourself digging holes underground. Oh, that's where the white people are going. It just dawned on me. Remember I said that because they're allowing the blacks to take over, and now crime and everything is just out of control. There's nothing good happening. And I've been wondering, well, where will you go next, white people? And let me know so I can save my money and go with you on the first boat so I can buy some land while it's cheap. Because I know that once the white people go there, they're going to raise the price of the land in hopes that the blacks can't afford it. And then the blacks going to be like, oh, they're registering. We can't get a loan from the bank to go to wherever white people are going and buy some land. They are registering, and the banks are racist. Even though the banks some years ago let black people have a lot of money to buy some land, and the blacks got all that money from the banks and bought property and all kind of stuff, and then they didn't pay the bank back, and the economy crashed. Remember they had that crash? A lot of people lost a lot of money. What the? And so I figured out now, it just dawned on me. Where white people are going, they're not going, even though Elon Musk trying to get up there, they're not going into outer space. They're going underground. It just dawned on me when we were talking about it last night, Hassan. They are going underground. I'm going to buy me some, and it ain't no grave. Even though it is a grave, but it ain't no grave. They are building like beautiful major homes with swimming pools and sauna and tennis courts and places for their dogs and horses and everything. Underground. Lord, now I gotta buy me some property underground. You better get your priorities straight, or you're gonna be moving underground as well. I wonder if you die, if you buy a house underground, a bunker, and then you die while you're living underground, do they just open up the window and throw you out since you're already under the earth? You don't have to have a funeral or anything, buy a burial plot. It's just throw you already underground. Just throw the trash out the window. Well, lo and behold, the whites are moving underground, not above. Fox is reporting California employees will officially. No, this is not the right one. That story coming up shortly. This is the one where our government, the government of the United States of America, is passing laws to make sure that legally there is nothing but confusion in America. And people are moving underground now because the whites are moving underground and they're leaving the top of the ground to the blacks to make sure. So they're passing laws to make sure that there's nothing but confusion, arguing, fighting one another. And while they're doing that, while you're fighting one another because you're too silly to pay attention to what's happening, they're like building underground and doing other things. They're making money from your blindness. Listen to this, what just happened in California, as though this is what is needed in California. Of all the things, of all the laws that they could have come up with, this is the best that they can do. Fox was reporting that California employees would officially have protection from discrimination based on their use of marijuana. And there are people who are marijuana salespeople. That's their career. Hi, this is my son. He's 30 years old. And, oh, yeah? What do you do, son? My career, I sell marijuana.
What the?
That's my career. California employees will officially have protection from discrimination based on their use of marijuana while off the clock. So now your boss can't even ask if you've been smoking some pot. Not only at home, accordingly, it will become illegal for employees to ask potential employees if they have used marijuana. Watch this from CBS.
California workers will soon be protected if they use marijuana. A new law that takes effect January 1st protects workers who use cannabis when they're not on the job.
For years, people would take a drug test and they would fail if they had smoked out of one of these within 30 days of taking a test. But because of this new law, you'd actually be protected if you smoke out of one of these and take a drug test tomorrow. Starting January 1st, California employers can still drug test potential and current employees. But unless a person is high when they take the test, it'll be against the law to punish them for having cannabis in their system.
The new law just reinforces that employees who are using marijuana, smoking marijuana for recreational purposes are going to be allowed to continue to do that.
I don't know. Isn't that amazing? And look at all female reporting the bad news. So now employers, your employees could be high at work. And you can't say anything. Why do you think the government would pass a law like that? Is it to bring harmony into the business or bring confusion? Who would sit around and think, you know what? I'm the government. What can I do to make things worse? I know I'm going to get a bill passed where you can smoke marijuana while at work or off work, and they can't ask you about it. They do a drug test, and they find out that you are high, or you were high last night. Yeah, I was high last night, and you better get one of those bunkers while they're cheap. Sean, I need your help for a minute with this Alcoholic Anonymous story. This is so deep, I want to do it right. And my producer gave me an amazing story on Alcoholic Anonymous. Isn't that amazing? They have passed a law that even if you took the test for drug testing, ain't nothing going to be done to you now. You are protected, not the company. Now, if you stop by a fast food place and you get a burger and you bite down on the burger and there's some weed in it because the employee was too high, they thought weed was pepper, and you get high, nothing you can do about it. Your boss cannot fire you because the California law says, hey, you can smoke marijuana and have a high from last night. Remember when years ago when boys were boys and men were men, and smoking marijuana, it didn't smell the way it smelled today, and all you were able to do is just take a little piece of paper, roll it up, and smoke it? Now they're smoking it out of a jar with some water. It used to be so simple. Now they smoke. Why are they smoking marijuana out of a jar with water? You ever done that? If you can say.
No, sir. I've never.
You can't legally ask him that.
Oh, I know.
I've never smoked marijuana.
Oh, you never?
No.
Wow, nice. You need to stay sober because you have a dog.
I'm crazy enough.
I know. You ever? Oh, I know you didn't. You smoke marijuana?
I have, yeah.
Oh, your daddy may hear you. Out of a jar? What?
Yes.
You smoke marijuana out of a big jar with water?
Yep.
Why?
The water cools down the smoke so that when it goes into your lungs, it's easier you can take more smoke into your lungs.
The smoke is hot?
Yeah.
The smoke is hot going into your lungs?
Yeah, it's smoke. It's hot. Hot air. So the water cools it down.
Really?
Yeah, you put cold water in there, sometimes with ice cubes.
Are you serious?
Hell yeah. Sometimes they put, well, I don't know.
Right. He just playing Sean Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah,
His mama.
Dad, I've never smoked weed.
And ain't what's your aunt's name?
Aunt?
Yeah.
Oh, Aunt Pat. Shout out to Aunt Pat.
Aunt Pat, he just playing. He's never smoked pot out of a bottle.
Yep. I definitely have not. Never mind. I don't wanna...
How about that time when you said you smoked and then your family members came to visit you?
Man, I was
That's
stunned.
funny. That's funny.
Here I am getting high on the weekend. I pay my rent, I have food in the refrigerator, and they show up. I'm like, what the? But anyway, Alcoholic Anonymous. First of all, let me introduce to you what it is. This is from Stanford. Y'all heard it. Everybody and their mama go to Alcoholic Anonymous, and they been going for years and years. Ain't nothing getting better. This is from Stanford, explaining what it is. Am I right about that?
That's right.
Okay, watch this.
Alcoholics Anonymous is an international fellowship of people who have struggled with alcohol addiction. AA's approach is based on the 12 steps. Go to any AA meeting and you'll probably meet people who tell you that AA is the only reason they're alive and sober today.
For some people, it's, I need a fellowship of people who don't drink. I will not have to worry when I'm around them that anyone will pull out a bottle or offer me a drink, and they will specifically support me in that goal of mine. You can walk into a meeting feeling very, just down on yourself and destitute, and then you see somebody who is like you now, but they're doing great. And they may tell their story of, I was, drinking and I lost my marriage and my job, and you're there like, oh my gosh, that sounds like me. And now I'm doing great and I'm in recovery and I pulled things back together with my wife and I've got a good job and I'm close to my kids again. That feels really good. That inspires hope.
What do you think about that?
I mean, if you actually look at the statistics of Alcoholics Anonymous, it's actually remarkable how many people it helps. It's obviously a worldwide program.
I have family members that have been going there since I was born.
Right. Some people will call it a springboard to a spiritual life. It's the introduction for people to what a spiritual life would look like, because before that they're just in a completely lost physical world, lost in the physical world, and so obviously we're not knocking anyone who's trying anything. Well,
no.
in our.
I'm just saying you're pitiful. I'm not knocking you.
Yeah.
But, and I know friends, I know family members who have, some of them really been going to alcohol since I was a teenager. Well, since I was in my 20s.
Right.
I know people who still go there.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a medicine that was put out into the world that had the success rate that Alcoholics Anonymous does, it would be remarkably unprecedented.
And so you say it has a success rate, meaning that, Nick said smoking that pot is all part, out in the water bottle, it's all part of the ritual.
It is very ritualistic. We love our rituals.
And so why do you call it success rate if they have to go for years and then they afraid to be around other people who do drink and they have to have other people around them that don't drink? How is that success?
I mean, the amount of people who go to Alcoholics Anonymous and end up becoming sober, it's for that specific purpose. So as far as their overall spiritual life, I can't really speak to that. But as far as staying away
I'm just saying, how is that success if they have to still go to the program for a lifetime and they're afraid to be around anyone else that's drinking?
Yeah,
how is that success?
Success might not be the right word for it, but...
No, they saw it as success. I'm just trying to understand because I don't understand, that's all.
Yeah, I might have used the wrong word there.
No, they call it success too.
Oh, in the video we just played?
Right.
Right. They might have used the wrong word too. But
why is this the wrong word? I'm just trying to ask, why is it called success if it's something they need for the rest of their life?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
But you do believe it's successful, though, right?
I don't believe it. It's in the statistics of people who go there and become sober. I can't speak to their spiritual life. It's just that.
But I didn't mention the spiritual. I'm just trying to understand the program.
And that's the success that they're talking about, is purely becoming sober, not finding perfect peace or.
But I wouldn't think of that either. If they're sober, completely sober, why can't they go to a party where somebody else is drinking?
I didn't. Who said that that's the case?
Well, he said in that video.
He said that they can't go to a party?
Well, he said that the one good thing about the program, and I may not be quoting more verbatim, but you're around people that are not drinking, and as a result, you make friends at this program, I guess, and you're around people that's not drinking, so that way you're not tempted to drink. Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
We'll finish this and your phone calls and super chats when I come back. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father, and you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it, and you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. A couple announcements. Number one is that we're having fellowship on Sunday for all at 11 a.m. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and 11 a.m. Pacific time. The meetings start and 2 p.m. Eastern time. You're all invited, and if you're not able to come in, you're not in the LA area, or you are, but you still can't make it, go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. All right. rebuildingtheman.com/church. And today at 12 noon Pacific time, a brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv. I had a very interesting conversation with Joseph Cohn, and he is a British Zionist and founder of the Israeli advocacy movement. Watch this. I always love my mama.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Are you a Zionist?
I am the biggest Zionist you will ever meet. I put Zionism on my cornflakes in the morning.
The Jews control everything. Is that true?
There is no Jewish conspiracy. You're certainly not afraid. Your first question was, did I kill Jesus? The Inquisition, they literally ripped our flesh off our bodies while we were still alive.
If the heart was changed, then there would be no war, period.
Most nerve-wracking podcasts I've been on. And I go against Nazis and jihadis. So.
Amazing. At 12 noon today, Pacific time. All right. You can support the Fallen State there at thefallenstate.tv/donate or on locals.com. So I just want to finish up this story. It's such an amazing story, and my producer put an amazing little segment together about Alcoholic Anonymous. And it's been around. How long has it been around? Do you know?
I want to say
he's one of the experts as well.
I'll make sure, but it's sometime around the middle of the last.
Century. And most people believe that it's successful because they hook you up with a non-drinking person who is an alcoholic or drug addict, and
late 1930s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been around a long time. See, I told you, I know people who have been a part of the program for years.
Yep.
And it's interesting, too, they still call themselves an alcoholic.
Well, that's the part of this segment that I found most interesting when comparing Alcoholics Anonymous to your message, for example, is, at no point, as far as I know, I've never been to a meeting, but as far as I know, at no point do they say, this is not you. In fact, there's certain of the 12 steps that talk about your wrongs in life, how you've done wrong. And you have to, make amends for those wrongs that you've done.
But what I don't understand is because I'm black and slow, why do they call it success if you are scared to be around another person that's drinking, even at a party or at home, I guess, or anywhere. Because if it's a success, that means that you could be working at a liquor store and not take a drink.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for everybody who's ever been in the program. I can't say that everyone who's in AA is scared to be around people who drink. I know people who have been in AA for a long time. They're around people who drink all the time.
Right.
And it's not a problem.
Because it worked for them.
Right.
Okay. Here are they have like a 12-step program, right?
Right.
And here are the 12 steps. This is for more than rehab.
Step 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Step 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Step 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Step 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Step 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Step 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of character. Step 7. Humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. Step 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Step 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible. Step 10. Continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Step 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And step 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all our affairs.
Amazing. And you say?
I say that obviously it takes you through some sort of a process where you have to, in earnest, go through each of these steps, and at the end you have a spiritual awakening. And the steps that I wanted to focus on in terms of our presentation of this is number 3 and number 5.
Number 3 is made a decision to turn our lives over to God as we understood Him.
Right. So, it's a good thing. They do talk about God in AA, which might be different than other recovery programs where they use all these big words and, tell you that you're this, that, or the other thing. In AA, they actually encourage you to look to a higher power. But at the same time, you could say that made a decision to turn our lives over to God as we understood Him. His ways are not our ways. It's not encouraging people to try to understand God is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It's like talking. It's like people who have anxiety and they worry about their anxiety. It's like trying to understand Him might be more frustrating than.
Yeah, I heard that. Made a decision to turn our lives over to God as you understood. Nobody understand God.
Yeah, it says it right there in the scripture.
Yeah, Isaiah 5:55, right? Isaiah 55. For my thoughts are not your thoughts. That's so deep and so true, but so misunderstood by people. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. And then Proverbs 3 said, do not lean on your own understanding.
So, yeah, so this might be one of those situations where people, think about God as they understand Him, and they're sort of setting up their own standards for themselves. They're setting up their own boundaries, and when you do that, you're bound to
fall into the bottle.
Right.
You're bound to fall into the bottle.
Some people. Yep. And they don't just use this for alcohol either. This 12-step program is used for all other types of drugs too, narcotics. They use the same 12 steps for all types of recovery programs.
Do you know if the program are free? Is it free?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's free. And maybe in some states it's not, but in a lot of states it's completely free.
Is it like going to church?
A little bit. Yeah, it's like a fellowship. That's
yeah?
why, like the guy said, you're in a space where you're with other people who have been through similar things, and you're able to fellowship with them in an anonymous way. Obviously, it's your face, but you don't have to use your last name. You're just Greg. You're just Stacy.
Amazing.
But like you always say, they do encourage you to say, I am an alcoholic.
As long as you say that, you're going to always be an alcoholic. You're justified by your words and you're condemned by them.
Yeah. It might just be a way of getting people to be honest about their problem. At first. There's nothing wrong with that, but the other step that I thought was interesting, was number 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. This is related again to the fact that they never say it's not you. It's never been you. It's not you. It's never been you.
Yeah.
Because we have never done wrong.
Isn't that amazing that they have you, or not just anonymous, but they have you admitting to doing wrong when you never have done wrong in your whole life, can't do wrong, won't do wrong, ain't gonna do wrong, and they tell you to admit to something like that?
Yeah, and like I said, I've never had experience with this particular program, but if it gets you to at least start examining your life. The steps might not be completely perfect. It might not have 100% success rate.
Might not, you think?
Whatever that means. But
I don't know.
But at the end of the day, if it gets you to at least start looking at yourself and start examining your life, that's a good thing.
What? One guy doesn't think AA works, right? I guess he went through it. Did he go through the program?
He had, and this is a testimony from a lifelong alcoholic, at least one person who doesn't agree with the program.
But in all honesty, no matter how great the program is, or any program really, if it works or not, you can always find people that's not going to work for, and they're going to walk away and say, oh, it doesn't work. And they don't tell you they didn't put the work into it, they didn't do this or do that. They just blame the program for not helping them.
Of course, yeah. And he talks about, where it comes from, too. He talks about his parents in this clip.
Oh, this guy does?
Yeah.
So I don't know about him, but I just know people are going to always find some fault in something. This is from Soft White Underbelly. Watch this.
My parents got divorced when I was around 2. He came back to the States. He was actually exited from the military because of mental illness. My mother happens to be mentally ill too. So for the 12 years he wasn't there, I grew up, especially in Germany, alcohol is a big culture. It didn't even occur to me that my mother was self-medicating. And by the time I was 12 years old, I was already drinking too. I went to an AA meeting once. You know what I felt like when I left? I actually wanted to drink even more. And that's exactly what I did. I went to the nearest liquor store and bought a drink. Because just sitting in that environment was so depressing and took so much emotion out of you that it actually was draining and I needed a drink. I almost felt like I had to restore myself. So the place that should have helped me actually made me want to drink even more.
Amazing. But just because it didn't work for him, that doesn't mean the program doesn't work.
No, and there's a lot of common sayings that they use in Alcoholics Anonymous. One day at a time, progress, not perfection, let go, let God.
Right.
There are a lot of common sayings that might have some overlap with some of the stuff, we might tell people.
And so once again, when they say it's successful, it just means that people there are people who go through the program and they stop drinking.
Right.
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 Okay.
It says nothing about, anything beyond that. That's the purpose of the program.
Nice.
Is to get you sober.
Right on.
Beyond that, it's really up to you. My favorite one of these sayings that I love that I've heard from this program, they say, "Your best thinking got you here." For people who say, isn't that interesting?
Meaning that, what do you mean by that?
They say, you can't think your way out of this, in other words. So they say, if you think that you can think your way out of this, just know that your best thinking got you here.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Got you where you are.
Right on.
And
nice.
One more interesting thing.
Okay.
One more interesting thing is that some people say that these sayings that they have in Alcoholics Anonymous that they ask you to keep on your mind, some people say that they're very cliche, that they're very, common and cliche. But the more cliche they are, the more true they are. So one day at a time is something everyone says all the time. It's cliche,
right?
But that's one of the that's one of the truer ones than any of them.
Right.
It's like the more cliche it is, the more true it is.
That's right. That guy that we just played that said it didn't work for him, he looked like he has parents issues. He didn't forgive his mama.
Right.
He got some other issues he needs to deal with as well.
Right.
It sounds like.
Right.
Amazing. Well, I wish y'all well with the Alcoholics Anonymous thing. I remember somebody just sent me a text. My friend.
But I think just to keep in mind that it's not.
The one that I said, your mama. What?
I think just to keep in mind that it's not you would be the one thing that, as far as I know, is not a part of AA that should be.
Right. Absolutely.
That's the part that yeah.
Nice. Well, it's an amazing story.
Nice. Thanks.
And I hope it works for them and whatever it takes. My friend wrote me a note about Alcoholics Anonymous and what he wished for the people, but it's too long. I can't read all this.
You want me to read it real quick?
Let me see. Okay. I just want to make sure he didn't put in his personal business in there.
1935, he puts AAA. AAA started, but it's just AA.
It's not AA, AAA. That's the car service,
that's the
man.
car service.
What?
1935, AA started. Hopefully, the AA group stays away from parties that include drinking for the same reason that I do. I believe that me being around them gives them the feeling of acceptance. I don't want to encourage anyone, but I'm okay with seeing an example at limited times. If there is success in getting people to stop drinking, I wouldn't want to put it down. It's like your ministry. I may take a different approach or may not agree with everything, but you have success. You are reaching people who others would not be able to reach. AA has success too. Can I read one more thing?
Is he an alcoholic?
He sounds like he's been to an AA meeting or two.
That's why he can't be around people that are drinking. I didn't know he was an alcoholic. I never known him to take a drink. He's too holy.
Yeah.
Are you an alcoholic, my friend?
I wasn't clear about that. But last thing.
He's like, you don't have to read it too long, too late. Thank you.
The last thing.
Yes.
The Serenity Prayer. Have you ever heard of the Serenity Prayer?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
You've heard of it, right?
Yeah.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the things that I can change and the things that I can't change.
Nice.
That's like central.
Oh yeah, that's part of Alcoholic Anonymous.
Oh, that is pretty much like the message.
One of these days, can we interview like a Either the founder of the program or one of the teachers of the program or something like that.
Founder of the program is dead, but but yeah, I could try to get in touch with someone who runs a program or someone who's in the program or something like that.
Yeah, I'd like to understand it better or more.
Yep.
Add to what you just told me.
Yep, there's a great...
the serenity thing sounds nice, though.
Yeah, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Serenity.
What does serenity mean?
Serene. Stillness, almost.
Oh, to let go?
Yeah, I'll get you the exact definition.
I'm black and slow.
Serenity, state of utter calm and unruffled repose or quietude. Do we have like one more minute?
Yes, sir. You the boss. You the producer. What the?
Well, I've said this on the program before, but that poem "Waiting" by John Burroughs.
I keep waiting on the world to change.
Yes.
Keep on waiting on the world to change. That one?
No, but that's a good one too.
What the?
"Waiting" by John Burroughs. It's a poem.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Serene, I fold my hands and wait, nor care for wind, nor tide, nor sea. I rave no more 'gainst time or fate, for lo, my own shall come to me. I stay my haste, I make delays, for what avails this eager pace? I stand amid the eternal ways, and what is mine shall know my face. Asleep, awake by night or day, the friends I seek are seeking me. No wind can drive my bark astray, nor change the tide of destiny. What matter if I stand alone? I wait with joy the coming years. My heart shall reap where it hath sown, and garner up its fruit of tears. The waters know their own, and draw the brook that springs in yonder height. So flows the good with equal law onto the soul of pure delight. The stars come nightly to the sky, the tidal wave onto the sea. Nor time, nor space, nor deep, nor high can keep my own away from me.
Amazing. Who is that?
John Burroughs.
Right on. Very nice.
Yep.
Deep.
Deep, right?
Yeah. Amazing. Nice.
Yeah, so...
Well, I wish the people at the program well.
Right.
That's all the program.
Yeah, no matter what program you're in.
Right.
Whatever is meant for you can't be stopped.
That's right.
It will come to you no matter what.
Absolutely, man.
Right?
Amazing. My producer, Sean, and one of the experts here on Jesse Lee Peterson's show. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, go straight to your calls and Super Chats. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married, and the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
am I right? This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Express Yourself Friday, January 5th, 2023 AD. I'm James Hake, and I'm back. Thanks to Nick for filling in with the Nick news, because Hake was sick news. Save your money. Coming, Nonsense Network CNN reports Americans spent a record $222 billion shopping online during the holiday season. This shows that U.S. consumers are spending, supposedly Americans, right? They're not necessarily American. Spending aggressively despite telling pollsters that they have an unfavorable outlook on the economy. I guess they're just giving up. Eat, drink, and marry for tomorrow. Be merry, for tomorrow we die. An Iowa murder and assault. CNN and the Skin reports that a community in Iowa, you heard about this from the anchor baby yesterday, is grieving after a 17-year-old gun child killed a 6th grade student and wounded 5 others on Thursday at Perry High School. A 6th grader at a high school. Must have been smart. Near Des Moines, Iowa. Investigators are working to uncover or cover up the motive of the shooter who was found dead at the school with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, said authorities. At first, gunshots were mistaken as some disruptive noise, a popped balloon, a dropped bag, 2 witnesses said. But panic and fear quickly spread as faculty and students realized the threat. More than 150 state, federal, and local law enforcement officials converged at the school where they discovered the gun male, because he's not a man, as well as a rudimentary explosive device. The attack was one of the at least 5 mass shootings that have unfolded in the United States this year, according to the so-called Gun Violence Archive. The Skim ladies on Iowa, they said it's only 4 days into 2024, and it was the 2nd school shooting of the year. And the students' first day back from what they call winter break, because they've secularized the school, is taking God out of it. They no longer call it Christmas vacation. Iowa's female governor, Kim Reynolds, a Republican, called the shooting a senseless tragedy. Still, Kim Reynolds rightly signed a law in 2021 allowing people to buy and carry handguns in Iowa without a permit. Good, huh? So maybe they didn't have to be defenseless. The female president of a U.S. National Gun Violence Prevention Organization, a deceptive euphemism. It's not what it is. It's anti-Second Amendment. Brady Campaign, formerly known as Handgun Control Incorporated, said, she tweeted, "New year, same horror." Sister Suffragettes died. The wife from Mary Poppins. CNN reports, rest in peace, Glynis, Glynis, Glynis Johns, Johns, the British actress best known for her role in 1964's Mary Poppins. She's dead. She was 100 years old. Not too bad. Starring alongside Julie Andrews, who was Maria Von Trapp in Mary Poppins, Dick Van Dyke, the liberal, and David Tomlinson. This Glynis Johns lady played Mrs. Banks, the feminist icon who sang Sister Suffragette in the Oscar-winning film Mary Poppins. The cause of death has not yet been determined, but she was 100 years old, so congratulations and rest in peace. Little Rocket Man has been firing around 200 artillery rounds, according to CNN. North Korea fired off on their west coast today in a move that South Korea called a provocative act. The shells landed in a maritime buffer zone, did not harm any civilians, though it's heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula. Last time North Korea fired rounds into this no hostiles act zone was in 2022, also under the sleepy, corrupt, crooked Joe Biden administration, because President Trump had him behaving, Little Rocket Man. And storms blowing through. A substantial storm is forecast to hit the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic this weekend. So watch yourselves, you people back east. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling. And by the way, my friend said he's never taken a drink in his life. He decided at 9 years old not to drink because he noticed that alcohol made people act weird. Duh.
That's an alcoholic.
Oh, you call it duh alcoholic?
No.
I said duh. I saw you walk by, and James said that's an alcoholic.
That's what they all do to deflect.
Nah. Anyway, I talked to my computer guy. I just saw him here. You can get involved by calling 888-7753. 888-77-JESSE. And we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're busy and you're just working out, whatever you're doing, you could be listening to the show, making breakfast, sending your children off to a public school so they can be destroyed, wherever. You're a mother going to work because you ought to act like a man. You can be listening to the show by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Follow us on JLP Talk on X and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Ring the bell, sign, hit the like button, do all those social media things y'all supposed to be doing. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com. Y'all know that Hake is back. The hate news, not the fake news. It's Open Line Friday. Get it off your chest today. Whatever is on your mind, express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
What is your biggest fear?
That's for sure.
The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
Did he talk about himself?
We need strong men that listen to women. That's the big difference, ain't it?
Now, there's a groundbreaking new study which has found a strong link between racism and chronic poor health conditions for black and brown communities in America.
All gender restrooms.
They talk about white supremacy.
Isn't it just time for women to run the planet? I
mean... right into the ground. The Anchor Baby put that together. Amazing work, Anchor Baby. Amazing! So we had the men's forum last night. Our first men forum last night for this year. Every first Thursday night for men only and third Thursday night for ladies. I have to tell you, and I'm telling you, it was the first meeting opened up with a bang. It was deep. It was insightful. It was interesting. It was helpful. It was life-changing. Men's forum. And I still end up going to bed late because you have all this energy after the meeting. You just can't go home and jump right into bed. You have to be mighty lazy to do that, right? And so I got to bed really late. I closed my eyes only for a moment, and the moment was gone. And it's all worth it. Amazing meeting, amazing forum last night. It really, really was. Everybody and daddy showed up. I forgot to do the, thank you, Hassar, for reminding me, the biblical question for this week. Which do you love more, your true life or your false life? Your true life or your false life? Which do you love more? So my friend said, I've never taken a drink in my life. Amazing. Can you imagine?
Amazing.
Amazing. He made that decision when he was 12 years old, 12 years of age. To me, drinking gave people a certain feeling that they shouldn't, that they should only get from God. Amazing. Anyway, let me go to the busy phones and then we'll do some super chats and all that good stuff. It's Friday. Let me go and talk to Ascari out of California. Ascari, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Jesse? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
All is well. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir.
So I had a couple questions. I wanted to see what you think about them.
Okay.
I just want to get it off my chest. So let me put my headphones in real quick. So the first question is, let me see here. The first question is, do we have anything to lose? I think I know, but I want to get your take on it.
Do you have anything to lose?
Do we have anything to lose?
Only the ego.
Only the ego.
Yeah.
So the relationships and the identities we have, that's not ours to lose.
Not at all.
Cool. What about our soul?
What do you mean by that?
Like if we don't follow the light, we lose our soul to Satan, right? To the evil.
If you're not walking in the light, then Satan already controls your soul.
Right. Okay. And then I had a situation at work I wanted to ask you about, because me personally, in the where I'm at with my spiritual growth, I seen it, but I didn't know how to react. So my supervisor was like using one of the machines at our job, and he got so frustrated with. First of all, he's talking to himself, right? I walk in on him talking to himself, and then he started hitting the machine, like slamming the door and hitting the side and yelling at the machine. And it was like to the point I didn't feel comfortable to even be in the room. I'm at work, and I had to like literally like leave the room because I didn't know what to do. Now, what I'm asking is like, so what do you do when a person is forcing you to put up with their evil that they doing? Like, you just leave, or do you just watch it, or like, I don't know. Like,
so this guy was at work. He got upset at the machine. He started yelling and screaming and banging the machine, right?
Right.
And was your life in harm's way at all?
Not in harm's way, but because of my job duties, I was supposed to be there beside him.
Right.
And and he's supposed to be my supervisor, so I was kind of like, what am I supposed to do right now? You know, like,
nothing at all. Nothing.
I see.
You just stand back, so you'll be safe, but stand back and let him go through what he got to go through. It has nothing to do with you at all. And then you watch yourself to see if you're being affected inwardly about what he's doing. And if you are, that's something you need to overcome. But
do
nothing.
Do you ever feel like God kind of like not moving fast enough sometimes? Because I've been trying to let him fight my battles, but man, sometimes I'm like, man, I don't, some of these folks, I just wish he would work a little faster,
But how would that your battle?
Well, with the individual,
Yeah.
Work,
Yeah.
because it's kind of when I'm at work, I'm there to do a job. Just like I shouldn't be over there preaching to nobody and putting my personal crap into them.
Right, but your boss, that was your boss, you say, right?
Yeah.
Right, your boss is right there having a fit. It has nothing to do with you. So it wasn't like you were not doing your work. You couldn't do your work. Your boss was having a fit with the machine. And all you needed to do was to watch it. It has nothing to do with you. It's happening to that one individual only. And if you don't react to it, you would have been bothered by it. You probably would have understood, you would have understood why he was doing it, and maybe you could have helped him in a way. You don't know, but at least you would have understood why he was acting that way.
Yeah, I just walked out and started gossiping.
You did?
Because I didn't know what else. Yeah, I went and started gossiping with someone else. I've been with the company for a long time. I didn't know what else to do.
But why do you feel you had to do that? You were worse than the boss that was hitting the machine.
Well, because my thing is, it kind of made me have fear that, one day he's going to act like that, try to act like that with me, because he's new to the site. And I'm just like, I just want to make it clear to some other people like that's happening so that I don't look like the one that's at fault, when he started doing that.
And so you listened to the devil about what could happen, and you went in and gossip about the man. Where's the love in that? Or understanding?
Well, God need to hurry up then, because, shoot, I can't just be waiting for,
You can't be waiting for what? God gave you a perfect opportunity to overcome fear and gossiping. But you listened to the devil, and you went along with fear, and you gossip about the man, but you had no understanding or love for him.
So I also reported it. I sent a letter to my regional manager, so I just wanted it to be documented, the behavior. So I feel like that was my duty.
And why?
Because it's my job to observe and report. That's one of my job descriptions.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. If that's what you're supposed to do, that's your job. They hire you to do that. But you were wrong for going and gossiping about the man, and you were wrong for having fear. Those are things that you should have still and overcame.
I see. That's kind of what I was thinking. That's why I made sure I gave you a call, because I wanted to make sure that, I kind of seen that too. I'm like, why would I allow the fear, and why would I go and gossip? But, I just, sometimes you get your back against the wall and you just feel like you don't have...
but your back was not against the wall.
Oh, I see.
You listen to the devil. You listen to thoughts, and all thoughts are all lies. The devil told you, oh, look, you have fear. And then you felt fear. And then the devil told you, go and gossip and go tell somebody. And you went and did that. And then the devil told you, oh, make a report on this. And you did that. You showed no love.
So showing love would have just been to be still and let go and let God?
Yes, sir. Just imagine the impact you would have had on him if you just stood back so you were safe and not react at all to what he was doing, not judge him, not react to it. You never know. The light in you could have helped him realize the darkness in him, in himself.
Yeah, that's true. That sounds right. All right, Jesse, I appreciate you.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Yes, sir, every morning, every night.
All right, stay with it and stop listening to thoughts. Observe thoughts.
My wife just said I'm lying, but she don't know I do it laying down. So she think I don't do it, but I do it laying down. And she think I'm lying.
What the?
Oh, Lord.
He's like, you lying? Well, then next time, not next time, but stay out of your head about what could happen tomorrow or next time. There is no tomorrow. All you have is now.
100%.
All right, buddy.
Jesse. God bless you, man.
You too. Right, thank you. Amazing. 888-7753-773. That's one line open. Jason out of Buffalo, New York. Jason, Happy New Year, Jason.
Hey, Happy New Year, man. I got
Thank
questions
you.
for you.
What?
So I got like a question for you. You said you were like the way that you say, like, how do you say that you're supposed to get to heaven? 'Cause, like, this is like how you get to your heaven as far as like your doctrine and stuff like that. 'Cause I don't think you're a Christian.
What'd you say? What was your question?
I said, it's like I don't think like my I guess like to get it off my chest. To get it off my chest is I don't think that you're a Christian. I think you're a Jew.
A Jew?
That's my get it off the chest. Yeah, I think you're a Jew. I don't think you're a Christian.
That's nice. You see, because and you make a good point, Jason, because Christianity originated from Judaism. So you may be on to something. Maybe I said I was a Zionist, right? Didn't I say that at some point?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Nice, Jason. So you recognize the Jew in me.
Yeah, because you don't think you don't follow, like, you don't think Christ is the way to get to heaven. That's the only reason why I think you're
Why
a
do you
Jew,
say
not
that?
Christian. Because you say you have to go to the Father in order to get to heaven.
When did I say that Christ that when did I say that you can not believe in the Son in order to believe in the Father? When did I say that?
No, whenever you said you had to return to the Father in order to get to heaven.
What?
Don't you say like the kids had to return?
But
to
you
the
said I
Father
said
in order-
something about Jesus. What was that?
Yeah, like that's like, see, you don't say like that. You didn't say that. Like, you have to believe in Jesus, and like that's the whole thing. You gotta accept Jesus. Like, that's why I said you're not a Christian. That's why I said you're a
You
Jew.
said
'Cause,
what?
like,
What
if
did you say about Jesus?
Like, for Jesus, you know how you gotta accept Jesus into his heart. You gotta be part, like. but
You got to
don't say that.
accept Jesus into your heart.
Yeah, like, it's like the whole.
Have you done that?
No, it's like they tried to indoctrinate me into it when I was little, but I fought out of that.
So you never accepted Jesus in your heart?
I mean, I did like a long time ago. I think I was in like.
And how did you accept him?
him?
How did you accept him in your heart?
I believed him. I tried to follow his policies. I tried to do the things that like they said that he would want me to do.
And did it
I tried
work?
To be like, oh nah, because once
So
you go
you
to
didn't
junior high,
believe
you
him
don't do
then?
that at all.
You didn't believe him?
No. It like, okay, I guess like, okay, at the time, like, okay, I said there was a moment that I did believe though.
No,
I did
you
believe for a
didn't.
minute.
You can't. You never believe, because if you have believed, you can't unbelieve once you believe, boy.
Okay. All right.
So
all
you
right.
have never believed.
No. I disagree with your premise. I believe that you can.
You disagree with what?
Hold on. I can tell you how I used to believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in Santa Claus no more.
You never
That
believed
doesn't
in
change the
Jesus
fact-
either. So you never believed in Santa, and you never believed in Jesus.
So you trying to say when I was little and believed in Santa Claus? When I was little and believed in Santa Claus, and now that I'm older and I don't believe in Santa Claus, the fact that I didn't believe, like the fact that I believed in Santa Claus when I was younger, I cannot not believe in Santa Claus.
I
while
said
I'm
you
older.
never. I don't know how you ran over from Jesus to Santa Claus. I say that you never believed in Jesus.
So you say, hold on, you saying I was explaining to you how like you don't see the parallels that I try to use between Santa Claus and Jesus. We
What?
can even go Jesus. When I was little, the parallels between how I'm using Santa Claus in the statement and defending my point, and how I'm using Jesus and trying to defend my point.
There is no parallel between Jesus and Santa Claus, man. What the?
For me, it is. For me, it is.
Why? You been smoking pot?
No. Let me explain it to you. When I was little, I used to believe in Santa Claus. When I was younger, I used to believe in Jesus. Now that I'm older,
You're
I
not.
don't
You
believe
never
in
believed in Jesus.
How you gonna say I never believed in something?
Because when you believe in Him, you can't unbelieve.
How can you? So you saying like you cannot? So Jesus, so Jesus is different from anything else. Unicorn, fairy.
Jesus what?
Is different from,
you said what?
Jesus is different from like fairies and monsters and all types of stuff that you can't that you can have a fear.
You said
or a belief
Jesus
that's-
different from fairies?
Yeah, fairies, monsters, ghosts. Because people actually
What's a monster?
What's a monster? What's a monster? You never had nothing that you was afraid of.
You
Like,
been
when you was
afraid of
growing up, you was-
monsters?
Not like the way it used to be like this alien thing. It used to be like this. It's like this alien. It's like this alien from this like from the thing, Tales from the Dark Side, no, Twilight Zone. They got this Twilight Zone era, like this Twilight Zone episode that they got this alien. They used to scare me. Yes, when I was younger. I'm not afraid of it no more. You see how it's like.
But what does that have to do with Jesus?
Look, because like I'm trying, like let me explain it to you. Like when I was younger, like so, explain it to me how like I used to believe.
If you do one more like.
No, explain this to me. Can you explain this to me? Can you explain this to me? Can you explain to me? Can you explain this to me?
If you do one more, can you explain it to me?
Like how Jesus is different.
What?
From like how you can have a belief in something when you were younger and don't have the belief in that now. And how does that discredit having a belief in something?
You have never believed in Jesus.
Anything else? How can you say that?
Because had you believed in Jesus, you can't unbelieve in Jesus. You can't be born. Can't be born of the Spirit and then be unborn of it.
All right, so based on that same premise, why you got to keep doing the silent prayer over and over again? Why you just don't have to do it once?
You don't.
If your God is so perfect.
You don't need to. That's why you're not doing it.
No.
You don't have to do it if you don't want it. You can stay in your hell. But how did you go from Jesus to Santa Claus? There's no parallel there.
Yes, it is. Like when I was when I was younger.
Santa Claus is white.
Let me explain to you the parallel. Like when people are younger, they are taught about Jesus. When people are younger, they are taught about Santa Claus. And being taught about they end up having like a belief.
Jason.
How, my question is, how is
Jesus is Jesus, and he's a Jew. Santa is Santa, and he white.
Okay.
So where's the parallel?
So you can't have a belief in so having the same so you're saying if you believe in Jesus, then you believe in Jesus forever. You cannot not fall out of the grace of it. How is that possible?
Fall out of the grace of what?
No, explain to me how a belief, you can't, your belief in Jesus is eternal and doesn't end, and you can't not believe and do. How you just get to not be able to break. No, explain it to me how you cannot break. You said I didn't have a belief in Jesus when I was younger.
Right, because if you believed in Jesus, you can't unbelieve in Jesus.
You can't unbelieve it. So you can't think somebody was real. Then
so let me ask this. Were you born from your mother? Did you come from your mother's womb?
Did I come? Yes. Did I come from my mother's womb? Yes, I did. Yes, I was not born.
Can you go back into your mama's womb?
Can a butterfly turn back into a caterpillar?
No, I didn't ask you about a butterfly or a caterpillar. I asked you, could you go back into your mama's womb?
The answer is no.
And why not?
Well, once you come out, her body changes once she gets rid of you. Once she drops you.
No, you change it.
No.
And so, once you were born,
hold on. Let me explain my point. Since you asked such a stupid question, so first of all, her body changes, so it wouldn't be able to hold the capacity of you being born because you're gonna grow.
No, you can't get back in there, buddy. And so, So if you can't be born again from your mother, can't go back into the womb, how can you, once you're born of the Father, how can you be unborn?
Once you be born of the Father, how can you be unborn? I guess okay. According to you, this is I'm thinking.
No, I want you to answer me according to Jason. Once you're born of God, how can you be unborn?
Walking away from him, not listening to him.
How?
According to you.
How?
According to you.
No, I didn't say that. You said that. How can you, once you're born again of the Father, man, how can you be unborn? How? Tell me how, brown cow.
How can you be unborn? First of all, you can't be unborn. You can't, you're born already. Being born, unless you're talking about reborn and rebirthed in the eye of the Father.
Jason.
When people go back to
Jason,
God.
hey!
Okay. Go ahead. You said, how can you be unborn? Reborn from the Father.
And your answer is
Trying to say
what?
climb back up in the nut sacks or something like that.
Don't get dirty on the air, man.
All right, climb back into the testicle.
Once you are born again of the Father, how can you be unborn?
Can't be unborn.
What?
You can't be unborn after you are born.
Once you are born again of the Father, are you saying you can't be unborn?
You are not. Hold up. You are not born of the Father.
Jason.
You are seeded by the Father.
Jason.
You're not born by the Father. Go ahead.
Thank you for your call, buddy. Call me again. I got to run.
Hold up. You're not born by the Father, though.
Okay.
You're not. Your mother birthed you.
Okay.
So how are you born by the Father?
All right.
Makes no sense.
You hung up. Joel said Jason is the Black Beavis. We be like 888-775-3773. Steve out of New Jersey. Steve, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
That call makes me want to take a drink and go to AA, man.
What the? Oh, man.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's all right. I wish him well listening to
Yeah.
that. But what I was just going to ask quickly, with all this AA stuff that you and Sean were talking about, do you think that people, the abstinence and like the avoidance of a specific vice, like drinking or like sex, because they have one for that too, do you think that even helps you overcome, or is it even a good springboard, or it kind of almost in a way creates a new identity? Because I think people create a new identity as the recovery or like the actual like person who's doing the overcoming, where I think even that identity kind of keeps you from being free anyways.
So what's your question for me?
So do you think that the approach of all these programs of, avoiding or not go, like you were saying, like not going into the, to the bar or hanging out with people, that even having that expectation of avoiding and, doing the steps and everything else, does that really help people overcome, or is it just creating a new identity that is hiding them from the old one that was there?
No, it's not helping you to overcome anything.
So do you think it's even worth getting involved in these programs in general?
Is it worth getting in there at all? It might be to some people, because maybe some people are like really, really alcoholics, and they may, if they didn't go against some type of sobriety, is that what it's called? Sober. Yeah. Then they may end up having a car accident or creating some problem for them. So it sounds like, at least for the drinking, it helped them, prevents them from getting deeper into that. So that is a physical help, I guess. But it doesn't help spiritually.
Right. So because I think that most of these programs, they focus on the stuff physically, like the behavior, the drinking, or like you doing drugs or the hooking up, and they're focusing more on avoiding the physical behavior, and that's not helping to address like what you always say, like the forgiveness and the other stuff with it. But I'm just questioning because I've done some of these programs. Because
the problem is not alcohol or drugs or sex or anything physical. It's not that at all, not one iota. You're doing those things because you already have a problem. And until people start dealing with the cause, then the effects will always be around. You just go from one effect to another one until you overcome the cause, the reason you're doing these things. And the program tends not to deal with the cause. I don't know what Alcoholics Anonymous is doing, except for what Sean just showed me this morning, but it tends not to deal with the reason you're doing what you do.
So is it worth recommending people get into these programs in general? That's what I'm trying to figure out after having had experiences with them.
Well, because I've not gone to any of them, I would not recommend it, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's not. Thanks, you, Steve. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, folks, welcome back. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. The Hake report, he is back. And he will be live today, I hope, at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at, today is Friday. Brand new episode of The Fallen State at 12 noon today. You don't want to miss this one. You don't want, especially for the Jew haters. You don't want to miss hearing Joseph Coyne. He is a British Zionist and founder of the Israeli advocacy movement. It was so much fun. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Are you a Zionist?
I am the biggest Zionist you will ever meet. I put Zionism on my cornflakes in the morning.
The Jews control everything. Is that true?
There is no Jewish conspiracy. You're certainly not afraid. Your first question was, did I kill Jesus? The Inquisition, they literally ripped our flesh off our bodies while we were still alive.
If the heart was changed, then there would be no war, period.
Most nerve-wracking podcasts I've been on. And I go against Nazis and jihadis. So.
Amazing. Amazing. That's at 12 p.m. Pacific time. TheFallenState.tv. Support the Fallen State there too. Go to TheFallenState.tv/donate or locals.com. I think this is going to even help some Jew haters stop hating. Really, it was so much fun, and the guy has no fear, at least not for that. That's for sure. So check it out. And then at 4 p.m. today, the American Anchor Baby, fly high, and not off pot that he been smoking in a bottle with water. He's fly high on a real plane, or a simulated plane. The American Anchor Baby, at 4 and a Sunday morning fellowship for everybody at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. RebuildingTheMan.com/church. Super chat. Super
chats. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Joel Friday, he black. Joel did 3 hours of radio on that first day you were away.
Yeah.
Which was Wednesday, I think.
Right.
And by the end of the third hour, he was worn out. Joel like, I'm black. I can't work this hard. But he did an amazing job.
Yeah.
But he was telling me by the end of his hour, he was like, I gotta take a nap. You don't supposed to be working on a black man that hard.
I know. Good thing you didn't give him 2 hours yet.
No. Well, now he's really getting trained for it.
Yeah.
Getting ready. And then yesterday, Joel and Sean, my producer, did an amazing job for you. They sat in.
Yeah.
And I think Hassan helped them some on that too.
Right.
Yeah. But
some would say carry.
You carried the show? When you say carry me, you carried the show?
Like the black guy who helped Jesus carry the cross.
Amazing.
Lord.
Nice.
Appreciate that, guys. Thanks for helping out. Stepping in.
Right on. Well, welcome back.
Thank you. So Gary Bridgewater bought you a coffee. Jesse, yesterday I tuned into the Hake report, but instead I got the Joel report featuring Hassan talking about butts for 2 hours.
About what?
Butts.
But what?
Butts. Like butts.
See?
Stop making me say it.
Say what? They were
Rear.
That person said they were sitting there, but what?
He instead got the Joel report featuring Hassan talking about rear ends for 2 hours. Let me finish the super chat. You're interrupting the super chat.
Are you serious? They talked about butts for 2 hours.
The things those two were saying made Sean, it's SEAN, nervous. Anyway, I love you guys. Keep up the good work. 100 emoji.
Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate it. What now?
See, I rest my case.
Thank you. I do too. Okay.
Soul Conscious bought 5 coffees. Jesse, I think men should overcome a woman's physical beauty, quote unquote, and not worship it. It doesn't mean how hot or fit. It doesn't matter how hot, quote unquote, or fit she is. Women in slutty outfits are never attractive. It is gross. The topic came up yesterday in Hake's show featuring Joel, Sean, and Hassan. Amazing.
Amazing.
SEAN, Sean.
Well, when I see women like that now, it's sad because I know that they're looking for a father's love, and they're trying to get that from the man. And the only thing he's trying to get and give her is sex. He's He doesn't love her at all. It's all about getting sex, and the woman is looking for a father's love. That's for sure. Thank you.
Indeed. Gregatron bought a coffee. If you guys missed the Joel Friday TV report show yesterday, you really missed out. That episode was so deep, and I just wanted to slap somebody. I just wanted to slap somebody. Go on over there and subscribe. Hake might be on fire. Hassan might be walking on water, but Joel is on lava.
And that's the same show where he was talking about butt for 2 hours?
I'm not sure.
At least somebody liked it.
Because he called it the Joel Friday TV report show yesterday.
Oh.
And
Maybe
his
you're
show is
talking
called
about
the Joel
after-
Friday TV podcast.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Maybe it's both.
Nice. Thank you.
Best thing since Howard.
How are you?
Yes.
Stern.
Oh. What? He was like Howard Stern?
No, I'm just joking.
No.
It was Christian version.
Ralph bought.
Let's move on.
Ralph bought you
Thank
5
you.
coffees. Hey Jesse, thanks for the silent prayer.
Right on. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. No matter what situation comes along, you stay with it. All right? It'll be amazing.
Someone bought you a non-pithy coffee. Keep your coffees pithy, people. Pithy means short.
Nice.
Talking about the nepotism question. It's a little disingenuous to say you're in opposition to affirmative action, that it has anything to do with not earning your way, because in the scenario of nepotism, the family member didn't earn their way, but you're okay with it.
What? I mean, that to compare affirmative action to a parent, a family member hiring his or her son or daughter, that's no. It was like Jason calling trying to compare Santa Claus to Jesus.
Yeah.
There's no correlation in that at all.
Not very logical.
It's not. I can't even respond to that because it lacks logic.
Indeed.
But thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Charles bought you a coffee. Not only do they put blacks on it in every TV commercial, they aren't even the good-looking blacks. They're the ordinary-looking ones. What the?
It looked like they're trying to find the blackest of the black to put in a commercial because they're trying to make black beautiful. And so they find the blackest of the black, the fattest of the fattest, the worst of the worst. I'm like, well, but that's what they do, though. They destroy everything. They don't make it better. Thank you.
Prep Ham Paul is a subscriber on Rumble supporting. Once you are born in Christ through his Spirit, you cannot be unborn. If you don't believe in him now, it simply means you never really believed in him. It's not the same as believing that Santa is real.
I hope you heard that, Jason, because Jason seemed to be confused on that issue. Okay, go.
Urinal Chills is also a subscriber on Rumble. Jason asks like Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon 4.
Thank you.
Nice.
What?
Sounds tough.
Wish him well.
And scary.
Yeah.
Charles bought another coffee for Flat Earth Sean. It's S-E-A-N. They come up with every other way to spell it except for S-E-A-N.
How are they spelling it?
Well, some people were spelling S-H-A-W-N. This person Charles spelled it S-H-A-U-N.
Maybe Sean's spelling his name wrong.
Could be. Probably.
Evidently. Anyway.
This is the simplest way, though.
I know.
For Flat Earth Sean, how can a flight around the world fly in one direction and end up at the same place it took off without turning around?
Ooh. We were talking about flat Earth one day.
Maybe the circle is imperceptibly big. Because in that case, it would be flying in circles.
Do you believe the Earth is flat or round?
It's an obvious globe. It's round. Yeah.
Okay.
But I do shout out to the flat earthers.
All right. So now when you go back out there, Sean going to roll his eyes at you.
I think he's been rolling his eyes at me.
I'm surprised Sean was a flat earther. I mean, it's not going to cause him to get fired or anything.
Right.
But I was surprised he was a flat earther. I thought he was a Christian.
I know.
What the?
He's full of surprises. Tom bought a coffee. Hey guys, this is another non-pithy coffee. Tom, gotta keep him pithy.
Oh, another long
short.
one.
Yeah, but I'll just read the gist. Hey guys, when it comes to AA or NA, not affirmative action, Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous,
affirmative action.
These are without a doubt God-given programs. Just like Christianity, people screw it up and misinterpret and misunderstand. I will say, as a person who has been clean for 9 years, it did not help me in the way that forgiving my mother did, but I did see glimpses of unconditional love from that program.
Nice. A nice report. Thank you.
Ethan bought a coffee. Sean's got a Sitka hood on. He's about to get some deers on the flat earth.
Oh, my dear.
I guess that means he's a hunter.
Yeah, he is a hunter. Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. Sir, you say go to the source. This message is needed.
Thank you. Amazing. Yeah. I appreciate it.
And let me double check for any remaining super chats that have taken place since my sitting here. And thank you guys. That's all for now, I do believe.
Amazing. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Let me go quickly to a first-time caller out of Missouri. Brendan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate your show, and thank you for everything you're doing. I just had a question for you today, and I've been thinking about calling up for the past couple months, but today is the day. So I'm a corporate recruiter. I'm in corporate America, and I work for what seems to be a lot of times younger, ambitious women, let's call them. And ultimately, I've had and noticed I've had a problem in the past 2 or 3 years where I'm constantly losing jobs whenever I'm having to deal with these women who ultimately seem like they have something to prove. I'm kind of a self-proclaimed alpha male. I'm 6'2". I consider myself to be good looking. In the past, I used to kind of use those tools to get ahead in work. And since I've been married for the past 15 years, I've tried to dial that back and just treat them as I do anybody else. Back in the day, I used to kind of flirt with them and use that to, I guess, get ahead or stay in the top 3, so to speak, just kind of be favored. But now, I kind of turn them down, and, I'm married. I've got 3 daughters, so I don't want to look at myself like a dog in the mirror. Whenever I do turn them down, at first it seems like a lot of these ladies are flirting with me, or maybe that's what I'm just imagining. I'm not sure, but it does seem like there's a lot of infatuation at first. And then once they find out I'm married, or once they find out I'm not interested, it seems like they switch on me. And it's like there's no getting back in good graces. And it usually happens within that first month. And then from there, it just goes all downhill. So I've lost 3 jobs in the past year. Usually I find myself making anywhere from 90. My best year was 248. Now this year I made $40,000 because I'm having this issue every time I get around these ladies that are in HR that are my boss, and they know there's nothing there as far as like infatuation or flirting or anything like that. And I think a lot of times that's why I'm hired, is because of my presence and my personality and the way I look. But then once they find out there's nothing there, it's like they turn against me. So I want to know, is that something I'm just imagining, or is it, every time I get around these women, I feel like there's an evil presence with them. I feel like, they're trying to dominate me. And since I'm an alpha male, I don't let them dominate me. And then my grandpa always said he had a hard time liking me because I don't respect women. So I don't know if this is something that's stemmed from way back in the day, because I was raised by a single mom, and she was always around these abusive women, or abusive men rather. Eventually, one of them ended up murdering her here about a couple years ago, shot her in the face and killed her.
You shot your
But I
mama?
was witness. Yeah, I shot my mom.
You shot your mother and killed your mother?
No, her husband did.
Oh, I thought you said you shot her in the face.
Absolutely not, sir. I love my mom.
Oh, okay.
She raised me my whole life. Yeah, she raised me my whole life. She was constantly around a whole bunch of different men. You know, I would see him sleeping with her. She constantly told me my dad didn't, want to be around me or whatever. I found out my dad wanted to be around me like crazy. Eventually, like I said, one of these horrible men ended up shooting her in the face and killing her here about a couple years ago. But I just don't know if it's a situation where I just don't have respect for women, period, because of the way I witnessed my mom growing up. And since I'm not flirting with them and sleeping with them, now that I've tried to turn my life around and be a good man and not cheat on my wife, there's nothing there for us. So it's like all I do is butt heads with these women in HR. And it's really as of late, really after my mom got murdered, that I'm having this issue. So I'm not sure if there's some type of correlation there or what's going on. But every time I get in front of these women that I work for, 3 months into it, I end up getting fired. And I'm losing jobs that are like $90,000, $110,000 a year. And I chose corporate recruiting because I'm a high school dropout. I got into corporate recruiting from signing up people for college.
So
I had a gentleman.
Let me ask this.
Anyway.
Let me just ask this. Are you arguing with these women at work?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Do you argue with them, or do you get in a heated discussion with them or something?
No, but I do believe there is something I'm doing. I'm going in.
When you see that they are not, you believe they're trying to hit on you, and then when it doesn't work, what happens after that?
So it seems like every time I start a job, 2 weeks into it, it seems like we're flirting with each other. It seems like there's kind of like some untalked about infatuation.
Are you flirting with them within yourself?
A little bit. I think I am. I think I'm using my old tactics to get the job. So, like I said, I'm a high school dropout. I don't have a high school
And so,
education.
why do you continue? Why don't you stop doing that?
And I don't know if it's something that I do on purpose. I think it's something that I've done for so long back in the past. That's just part of who I am, I think, or something. But ultimately, that's how I'm getting these jobs.
And let's say that once the flirting stops, what happens then?
They turn into a completely different person.
And do what?
They find out I'm married, and they find out that there's not going to be any flirting there. Because in the past,
and what do they do when they turn?
They shut off. They shut down.
Meaning
they
that
turn into a different person.
Meaning that they stop talking to you and stuff?
Yeah, and that's what's making me lose my job is they'll stop talking to me, and usually I'm in the training period, so I'm not learning anything I'm supposed to be learning at this new job. So,
do they stop talking to you about work?
Yeah, they quit talking to me at all. They basically just limit the conversations. They start to avoid me.
And if you have questions about work, they won't answer the question?
Well, they basically cause a situation to make it seem
do they
like
answer the question when you ask about work?
Yes and no. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Hold on. Can you hold, Brendan?
Yes, sir.
Let me take a break. 888-7753-773. One more hour to go. Hate news is coming up. Not the fake news, but the hate news. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. Freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
Going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 already of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Express Yourself Friday, January 5th, 2023. 2024 AD. My goodness, terrible. Stay tuned for hour 3, last hour of JLP. Right back to your calls, guys. Hang tight. JLP will be right back. But first, Hake news, not fake news. And tomorrow is January 6th, so evil Biden is going to give a lame-o speech if he hasn't already today. His first speech of 2024, the ladies at the Skim report. Tomorrow, Saturday, marks 3 years since the 2021 attack at the U.S. Capitol, attack on the people of the United States by evil. Biden's using his speech to launch his re-election campaign and paint the election as a struggle for democracy. A democracy. It all comes as polls show that more Americans than ever believe in conspiracy theories around the Capitol riot. One poll showed that a quarter of Americans believe the FBI instigated it. Another showing growing sympathy from Republicans for the Capitol supposed assailants. Biden's not the only presidential candidate making speeches. Tomorrow, Trump will hold campaign events in Iowa ahead of elections later this month, right? The primaries. Unclear whether he'll acknowledge the anniversary of J6. Maybe he'll say chin up kings to the persecuted patriots. Comes as Trump wards off federal charges over his actions related to the January 6th and works to appeal the court decisions in Colorado and Maine, keeping him off the ballots over insurrection. Give me a break. Another thing he may not address is the House Oversight Committee revealed yesterday Trump allegedly received almost $8 million from foreign governments while he was president, mostly from China and Saudi Arabia. China and Saudi Arabia. None of this has kept Trump from leading in the GOP primary polls by a mile or 5, despite skipping all of the debates. The rhinos are trying to attack him. Nikki Haley and Ron DeSanctimonious, whom I actually like him. I like him, Ron DeSantis. ISIS is in Iran. Iranians are reeling from ISIS. Thanks a lot, Joe Biden, Barack Obama Part 2. Yesterday, the terrorist group claimed responsibility, according to the ladies at the Skim, the far-left females, for 2 explosions in Iran that left more than 80 people dead. It was the most recent attack ISIS carried out in Iran since 2022, when gun males stormed a shrine, killing 13 people, because they're not men, right? If they're innocent, killing innocent people, men don't do that. The news comes amid heightened tensions in the Middle East, threatened to pull the region further into violence. Yesterday, a U.S. airstrike targeted Iranian-leaked militia in Baghdad, a strike that the U.S. described as necessary and proportionate. Meanwhile, Iranian-linked Houthis in Yemen launched a drone attack in the Red Sea, one of dozens of attacks against ships since November. It came as the group ignored a final warning by the United States and allies to stop the attacks or face consequences. Real tough, Biden. And did you know that women's sports carry the NCAA? Whose backs must be hurting women's sports players, say the far-left female-run outlet The Skim, from helping to carry the NC2A. Yesterday, the NCAA agreed with ESPN to a $920 million 8-year extension of media rights. The deal triples the value nearly of the current contract and comes as the NC2A women's basketball tournament drew a record 9.9 million views last year. Wow. While the Women's Basketball Coaches Association celebrated it as a win, some hoped for a bigger contract to help better value women's athletes. Some have even hoped women's basketball could be negotiated separately, since it could be valued upwards of $80 million. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
To stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. It is Friday. It is Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is. But before I get to that, you can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. I'm trying to rush, so I'm jumping ahead of myself here. My biblical question, which do you love more, your true life or your false life? Which do you love more, your true life or your false life? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about doing whatever you're doing, land up at the beach or whatever, or dig in an underground bunker, because that's where the new white world is being created, you can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And follow us on the social media stuff, JLP Talk on Twitter and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. And to donate to have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or bond on JLP Cash App, bond JLP Cash App. All right? It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest today. No, my biblical question. I did the biblical question, right? It's whatever's on your mind, express yourself. Friday. This is Trump.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a great alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
What is your biggest fear?
The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
We need strong men, and I think many
We
of them...
need strong men that listen to women. That's the big difference, ain't it?
That's not a
Now,
strong
there's a
man.
groundbreaking new study which has found a strong link between racism and chronic poor health conditions for black and brown communities in America.
All gender restrooms.
White people have real power.
Isn't it just time for women to run the planet? I mean...
What a better. Amazing. I want to go quickly back to Brandon. A first-time call out of Missouri. I had to put him on hold. And Brandon said that he has lost like 2 or 3 jobs, making really good money. and because the generation of women today, they're out of it, and when they first come, they flirt, and when the flirting stops, then the trouble starts. Am I right about that, Brendan?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I
Okay.
mean,
So let me ask. So like, you flirt with them and they flirt with you, and then you stop flirting, right? Now that you're married.
well, let me rewind it. It's kind of like a basketball player using his height to get into the NBA, and that's kind of in my situation. I'm not trying to sound conceited by any means, but I am a good-looking male, and in the past, I've noticed a lot of the times I get my jobs in the past, it was not because of my education. I'm a high school dropout.
But because of time, you flirt with them and they flirt with you, and then you stop flirting. Am I right?
Yes, I would say that's fair. I would say subconsciously I am kind of flirting at first, maybe to get the job, to get the fish on the hook.
And
then
now
once
that
they
you're
get behind the
married,
scenes-
why do you flirt, period?
Well, I think it's, like I said, kind of like an NBA user or an NBA player using his height. It's not like I'm trying to do it. I think it's just there. So it's
You can't help but flirt.
I'm not flirting. I'm just using, I guess, my presence to get my job. I'm not like, because there's no end goal for me. I'm not wanting to sleep with this person. I'm not wanting to advance on this
but
person.
why, if you said that you did say you're alpha male or something like that, right?
I think a lot of men claim to be alpha males.
No, did you say that you were alpha?
I believe so, yes.
And so now that you're married and you're alpha male, why do you flirt, period?
I think it's because it's worked for me in the past. Having no father in my life, I had to find survival skills, and I found that a lot of people were telling me I'm good looking, so I used it. I used it to get me to where I needed to go because I lacked in other
when
areas.
you stop flirting and you need information at your job about the work, do they refuse to give you the information or respond back to you concerning work?
Yes, they will shut down. They'll try to communicate with me as least possible so that training process doesn't go well and they can get rid of me.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, it's causing some issues because I've lost 3 jobs here in the past year.
But how do you, at the moment they stop openly communicating with you, only when they have to, they communicate with you. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like I've read that story before. I can see the canary in the coal mine. I'm going to get fired here in about 3 weeks.
And
how it works out.
And how do you deal with it? How do you start acting once they start acting the way you say that they're acting?
Well, I'll start kind of turning into what they turn into in a sense. I kind of shut down myself. I don't communicate with them anymore. And I start detailing everything that's going on, just for my benefit, I guess. But ultimately, I kind of just know what's coming because I've got myself into this spider web to where I'm kind of expecting this stuff now. And
so
that's why I'm wondering, is it just me or is it just the women in general, when I get to that level, having to deal with it?
And so you start writing down what's happening and what you do with the information once you write it down.
Well, I'll turn it in at the end of when they go to fire me. I'll say, well, look, here's a whole bunch of stuff that your HR was doing to me, and then they'll cut me a check or something. But I don't want to do that. Like, I want to make money.
Well, Brendan,
a lot of people don't realize that.
Brendan, you're bringing this up on yourself because you're acting like them. And the reason you're acting like them because you are affected by the way that they're acting, if this is true, what they're doing. You should not be affected at all and just stay calm and do what you're supposed to do at work. Because you're acting like them, and then you bring this on yourself, and you write these notes down, and now you have all these notes. You have to get to a point, and so you are expecting to be fired, so you're bringing this upon yourself. You need to calm down and stop acting the way they're acting, and just go there, be professional, do your job, and go home. If they act a certain way, let them act the way they want, but you still be an alpha male, as you say, and do your job and don't act like the women are acting.
Right. The only problem with that is in my occupation, it's like, working that close to an HR, they control your whole occupation. They control your whole world.
But
at
they
work,
don't
you know?
control
So it's like,
you, though. They don't control you. You're acting like the women are acting, and that's why the outcome for you is happening, because you're new on the job. You're the one that's being trained, but you got to stop. In your mind, you're saying, oh, they're acting this way because we're not flirting, and so I'm going to act like them, and you end up getting fired. You got to work on you. You got to overcome your mama.
that makes sense, you know, and I think that's probably true. It probably all stems from my mom. Like I was telling you about her being with a whole bunch of different men, just not operating like a woman should.
Have you forgiven her for that?
Well, she's passed away now, but before she did get shot in the face here a couple years ago, I did tell her that, you know, no matter what you did to me as a child, this is way before I even heard about you too, because I feel certain stuff in my heart, you know, and like what you're telling people to go do, that just came to me naturally. I was like, you know, forgive this woman because I don't want her to be in torment. It's my mom.
That's not a reason to forgive.
I don't want to be holding anything against her either. You know,
right, but you don't forgive your mother so that she doesn't be in torment. You forgive your mother so you can overcome torment.
I agree. I mean, that's kind of I did it for both of us.
But you can't do it for both of us, both of you guys. You can only do it for you. You cannot do it for anyone else.
And Jesse, I used to sleep with a lot of women when I was younger.
Did you forgive your mother?
Yes.
And you told her you were sorry for resenting her?
Yeah. Yes.
What did you say to your mother?
She actually took it very well.
What did you say to her?
I said, Mom, you know, because I was molested, I was, you know.
What did you say to your mother?
I told her, I was like, you know, I forgive you for all that. I told her it wasn't her fault.
It was her fault.
I just remember that part.
You lied. It was her fault. That's not forgiveness.
Isn't that the devil's fault for being in her?
You lied to your mama. When did you haven't forgiven your mama, Brandon?
Okay. How do I do that now that she's gone?
By realizing just like you're out of control right now, inwardly out of control, she has the same problem, and you're feeling and going through exactly what she was feeling and going through with the different men and all that kind of stuff, and she couldn't help it. And by realizing you can't help yourself, it will cause you to realize she could not help herself, and now that she's expired, God will cause you to forgive her since you can't go to her.
I just feel like my whole life is dealing with women right now. Like I've got 3 daughters. I've got a
But
wife,
you got to forgive your mother, though. Does your wife obey you?
My wife's a black woman. I'm a white man. I've noticed.
You married a black woman?
I did.
Why?
Because, you know, I was being treated like crap by a lot of white women.
But she's treating you worse.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, no, she's treating you like crap.
Every night. What's that?
She's treating you like crap.
Yeah, she is, man. She's got an attitude like no.
But why do you say no? She wasn't.
Well, whenever she made me get married, because she said her mom wasn't. We weren't blessed because her mom's a preacher and her dad's a preacher, and she said that we weren't blessed living in the same house. So we went to go look at an apartment for her, and it was in a bad side of town. I was like, man, she's gonna get hurt over here. I was like, I'll just marry her. And I know that sounds crazy. But basically, I just.
Brandon.
Yes.
Does she obey you?
No, absolutely no. She tells me that I can't control her. That's her words. And, you know, I don't want to, like, leave my daughters with her. I want to leave bad, but I don't want to leave my daughters here.
And why did you make babies with her then?
You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Why did you marry her?
Because I didn't want her to leave. I didn't want some other guy to take. She's a very beautiful girl, and you know, I was just like I said, I was sleeping with a lot of women back then, and she just seemed different from all of them.
But beauty is only skin deep.
Well, no, her beauty was coming from her heart and the way she talked to me.
The same hell you're catching right now, it's the same hell that was in her when you married her.
I always tell her she bait and switched me, and she's like, no, I didn't do that to you. I was like, yes, you did. You used to talk exactly like a white woman. You used to act so sweet and innocent. And as soon as I got with you and married you, I always messed with her. I said, Shaniqua came out. and it did too. Like she started wearing this headscarf. She started acting totally different. She, it was like none of this stuff she was showing me at the first, and then at the end, or like as soon as we signed those papers, it was basically she had turned into, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but like the ghetto side of her, they're like the way.
And so why did you make babies with her? Why did you make children with her?
Well, what's crazy is she said she couldn't get pregnant, and for like 8 years we couldn't get, or 6 years we couldn't get pregnant, and then all of a sudden, I guess she went to the doctor and got on some medication that helps fertility, and we ended up having twins out of the blue.
Why do you stay?
I didn't think she could get pregnant.
Why do you stay?
Why do I think what?
Why do you stay with her?
Oh, well, I stay because, honestly, it's kind of a selfish reason. My dad wasn't here for me, and that was really hard on me in my life. And I don't want to leave my daughters to the wolves, man. I don't want somebody molesting my daughters. I don't want somebody.
But she's going to destroy your children with you being there. That's not going to stop her from destroying your children because you're weak.
I know. She's already starting to turn them against me, and they love me to death, man. My daughters love me.
Right.
But I can already
Children love, boys and girls love their fathers.
They love me. Like, I really think they prefer me over her, and I know that's
absolutely
bad to say, but
they do.
They do. You can feel it and see it in our little eyes, but the thing is, like, she uses that against me now. So it's like, it's crazy that someone that says they love you so much would use your own children, and it's messed up, but that's where I'm at now. And I've been going through so much. I lost my dad and my mom here recently, and I just, man, it's like a lot of pressure.
Why do you think you're an alpha male? You kept saying earlier that you were an alpha male. Why do you think you're an alpha male?
Because I can make it through anything. Like, I feel like
you can't. You catching hell right now.
But I'm still going through it, and I'm not breaking. I'm just, like, wondering how I can fix it because
you can't fix it. Fix what?
These women don't listen nowadays.
You wonder how you can fix what?
How I can fix, honestly, her attitude.
You can't fix it. What makes you think you can fix it? You can't even fix yourself.
Well, the law doesn't allow you to. I mean, I'm not trying to say.
Brandon, you can't. Even if the law allowed it, you can't fix someone else.
Right. So
why are you even trying to fix her? You can't fix your own self.
Well, what a mess, Jesse.
What a mess.
Trying to figure out a rock to grab onto. Like I said, man, I lost both my parents.
But why do you think you're an alpha male?
I lost it because I'm going to make it, because I can see the light every time, any situation. I don't ever back down from a situation. I always stand up.
But you don't see the light. You see only darkness, and you calling it the light. May I tell you why? Why I say that?
Yes, sir.
Because when you get these new jobs, you're acting just like the women are acting, and you get fired. You're offended by the way they're acting. You get upset, and you end up getting yourself fired. You married this black woman with all these problems because you're trying to save her. You're not seeing by the light. You're only seeing by the darkness, and you're calling it the light.
So from what I've heard from you from the past is I need to go to her and basically say, will you obey me because I am the leader of this family. I'm trying to.
You're the head of her, but it's too late. She's not going to obey you.
Right. It seems like that's well expired. Like, she's already teaching the girls how to kind of mouth off to me, and they're respectful girls and everything. We have a respectful family, I guess, to a point.
No, you don't.
But
not at all. If all that's going on, there's no respect.
So what do I do, Jesse? I mean, I can't just pick up my stuff and leave.
Good question.
Yeah, I hear you.
I have never met.
I feel like I'm being attacked by women. Like, period. Like, I got.
No, you're being
daughters,
attacked by the devil inside of you.
But he knows how to get to me, and it's through these women.
Right, and so now you got to overcome the woman.
So
here's what you do.
Here's my situation. Like, I don't really see any worth from a woman unless I'm sleeping with her. And I know that sounds horrible, but maybe
that's true. That's every man.
I don't want to be friends with a woman. I don't really like to conversate with a woman. I don't really respect what they have to say. I don't. I don't look up to a woman at all. I don't want a woman leading me. I am an alpha male. Like, I don't want to really hear much from a woman other than maybe consoling me from time to time, or, you know, I don't know. I don't even know why. Like, I think they cause so much damn issues in America. I think they cause so much issues everywhere. It's like, I know if women disappear, we'd still have issues, but it seems like they're the ones inviting all this pedophilia in. It seems like they're the ones inviting all these terrorists in.
Brandon.
Like, oh, just be nice to them.
Brandon, you got to work on you and stop hating women. They can't help themselves.
So is it wrong to hate women?
Yeah,
Am I-
yeah, and that's what the problem is. You hate your mother, and you hate all women, and they are destroying you because you hate them, because by hating them, you're subject to them, and they're destroying you. They see your weakness, they take advantage of your weakness, and they are destroying you because you're hating them. But if you didn't have hate in your heart for anyone, yourself or anyone, you could not be destroyed. It would be impossible.
Why do I think the woman is the devil on earth? Because, you know, they say they made God.
Brandon, this
They
is
made
about
us from God's image.
Brandon, this is about you.
All right.
You got to
You're right.
take your eyes off everybody else, including the women, and look at what's happening inside of you. Because it's about, the problem is your problem is you and not anyone else.
Well, I can agree with that, and I was scared to hear that because of my ego, I guess. But, you know, like, I do think that women are still evil. I need to work
Brandon,
on that.
don't worry about that. You're evil.
Yeah, that's probably right.
So you got to stop looking.
Because I do feel evil saying that crap. You know, it's not like it doesn't come out naturally. Like I said before, I know what's right and I know what's wrong just internally. It doesn't feel right to say that, especially when I have 3 daughters.
But it's true that women are evil, but you're evil too because you have your mother's nature.
Yeah, I bet that. You know, I totally agree with that.
So here's what I'm going to recommend
father
for
was
you.
pushed out.
Here's what I recommend. Another thing I was thinking too, I've never met a white man yet that was involved with a black woman and she wasn't totally controlling him. White men should not be marrying these black women because they can't handle them. And these
I agree.
And these women just marry them because of the money and stuff like that. Not that they love you. But
Hey, Jesse, remember that old show, Girlfriends? They had all them black women back in the day, and they had that one white man in there. They tried, you know, basically treating him like a little punk all the time. And that's what I feel like they try to do to me.
But because you set yourself up so they can do that to you, man. But here's what I recommend because of time. Here's what I recommend. I recommend you start looking at you and what you're doing from within. You got to forgive your mother because you have become just like her. The same thing she was doing with the men, you're doing it with the women. It's the same thing. And
wow.
And the woman is now your God because you have not forgiven your mother. Just as you cannot help yourself, your mother could not help herself. Her mother did it to her, and so on and so on. So you got to see that just as you couldn't help yourself, your mother could not help herself, right? And then start doing this. Where's your father?
I lost my father a year before my mother got murdered here. I lost both my parents right before COVID, and that's why I think I'm kind of going crazy because I've been
No,
through
that's
so
not
much
why
crap.
you're going crazy. You're going crazy because you have hatred in you. You're angry, and everyone that has anger is insane. So you're insane.
Yes, I am.
So
I believe that.
Here's what I recommend. Calm down. Start doing the silent prayer. Watch those thoughts. Stay with the prayer. Watch those thoughts. And stop blaming anyone or any situation outside of you. It's inside of you. That's where the problem is, right? So do the silent prayer so you can stay out of your thoughts, out of your head, and stop overreacting. And I'll tell you, your life will start to change. Don't argue with this woman that you're with. Don't argue anymore with anyone. Let them argue by themselves. Don't argue back. And just quietly live your life, and your whole life will change for the good.
I appreciate that so much. I've been listening to you lately, and I was like, man, Jesse's been telling me women's evil. I'm right. You know, it's the women. But I wanted to call up and hear it from your mouth because I thought I was getting the wrong message, and I obviously was. So I'll work on it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And you have the woman's spirit in you, and God would take that away and give you back His spirit. And
I'm surrounded by women. They're
Right.
starting to infiltrate me, I think.
But that's because
know?
that's what you have drawn unto you. You just like your mother drew all those men unto her, you drew all those women because that's your nature.
Wow. That's wild. That's amazing. Thank you.
So do the silent prayer. You know about the silent prayer?
I do. You know, I think I'm one of those people that say they have ADD, so I can't sit in one place for a while. But
No, you
I'm
don't
gonna
have.
try it.
It's in your mind. You're totally involved with thoughts and emotions, and they're driving you crazy.
Yeah, that's why I started listening to you, is because of the thoughts. The constant thoughts are just like a merry-go-round all day long in my
Yes.
head. You know, it's just
Yeah.
same ones too. It's like my brother, how he did me wrong. My uncle, how I don't talk to him no more.
Right.
You know, these people, and it just keeps on playing over and over. And then I started doing that little silent prayer for like 2 days, and I started to be able to control them. So I'm wondering why I stopped that. You know,
Because
it's
the
like,
devil didn't
my mind
want
was so clear.
the devil didn't want you to do it because he know eventually he will have to leave your mind. You will have a clear mind, and so do that little silent prayer, and stay with it every morning, every night. Just calm down and stop listening to the thought. Let them pass. Stay with that, and the truth, the love of God will make you whole. You'll be fine.
Thank you so much, sir. You're the best.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So let me know how it goes. All right.
All right, I will. I'll call back. Thank you.
Okay, but start with the prayer and stay with that.
I will. I'm going to try it all this week.
All right, buddy.
All right, thank you, sir.
Bye. Amazing. Is it Matus? Matus out of California. Matus, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. It is Matus. I go to the fellowship a lot. I'm the guy that sits in the corner by Hake. All the
Okay.
time with a ponytail. How you doing, sir?
All is well. Welcome to the show.
Well, the AA thing, it preaches a lot of the same stuff you do. I've been going to it for a couple years now, and it talks about forgiveness, dropping the ego. It talks about the devil. It talks about a lot of things, the same thing, forgiveness. It's all in those steps, and the reason why people go back forever is
Did
not
it help
because
you?
they have to.
Did it help you?
Yes, it did. It did help me.
And
but
then
a lot of the things.
the reason people
forget
go
my
back
mama,
is the reason that people go back is what? For so many years?
because they want to give back to the community because it's a free program. There's nothing, no money is exchanged, and there's better fellowships than other fellowships. There's some people that are like some fellowships are controlled by the woman. You know, there's a lot of ego in some of them, but if you go to enough meetings, you find a good place where you fit in, and people go back because they want to help the guy that helped. It's like a sending a hand out to a hand that was held out for you.
Oh, okay.
Because it is a completely free program. That's why people go.
Oh, okay.
Because
And so how would, because of time, Matus, how were you helped?
I was helped by showing that the ego, the same thing you talk about, and guys that had the same story as I have, because you always, when you're in ego and self-doubt, you think you're the only one that has those problems, and you start to listen to somebody
So
else.
how
say
were
the
you
same thing.
how were you helped?
By listening to other people talk about the same things I went through, that I'm not, that a lot of it was just ego.
And did you
I
stop?
thought it
So
was-
you no longer drink?
No, I no longer drink.
And so
drugs.
you
I
were
was-
helped by stop. It helped you to stop drinking, right?
Yes, sir.
And so are you afraid? What would happen if you took another drink right now? What would happen to you?
I don't know. I
And
don't know.
Are you afraid or concerned about being around people who are drinking and things like that?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Do
Because
they-
I don't have the desire to drink.
And so you could be around other drinking and you don't have to take a drink.
No, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. I had other problems too. I was a womanizer. I thought I was God. I thought I was invincible.
Right.
And
Amazing.
forgiving my mama worked. That somebody said that forgiving your mama, that's a key to a lot of things.
It is.
Period.
It's the key to everything.
Yeah.
Amazing. I appreciate that.
Sunday, Jesse.
All right, buddy.
I'll be there Sunday. I see you, brother.
Okay,
see you later.
All right, now. Bye now. Thank you so much. I got to take a quick break. 888-7753-773. When I come back, more of your calls and super chats. Back in a moment. Oh, the treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment. Check out my book, For Race to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone. And you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. A couple of quick announcements. I get back to your calls and super chats. The Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour, and Hake is back. He's back from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at 12 noon Pacific time, a brand new episode of The Fallen State.tv. The Fallen State.tv. I had a very fun and interesting discussion with Joseph Cohn. And he is a British Zionist. A Zionist! And founder of the Israeli advocacy movement. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Are you a Zionist?
I am the biggest Zionist you will ever meet. I put Zionism on my cornflakes in the morning.
The Jews control everything. Is that true?
There is no Jewish conspiracy. You're certainly not afraid. Your first question was, did I kill Jesus? The Inquisition, they literally ripped our flesh off our bodies while we were still alive.
If the heart was changed, then there would be no war, period.
Most nerve-wracking podcasts I've been on. And I go against Nazis and jihadis.
Amazing. Amazing. At 12 noon Pacific time, thefallenstate.tv. And you can support us there too. Thefallenstate.tv/donate and locals.com in the link. Click the link there. The description is in the link. And I do appreciate it. At 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. Flying high. Not on pot, not on fentanyl, not on hatred, but natural energy given to him from God. Amazing, huh? At 4 p.m. And what else? Sunday morning, fellowship for all. We had the men's forum last night. It was amazing. Fellowship for all at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Come on down. And at 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you're not able to be in the building for it, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com/church. All right? At 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Amazing. Let me go quickly back to the phones. Let me go to Ray out of Michigan. Ray, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Ray. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. So I wanted to talk to you about how I forgave my dad about 2 days ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so little quick backstory because I know you're running the time frame and everything. So I haven't spoken to my dad in about 3 years. I was with the mother of my child for about 2 years, and then she kicked me out of the house. She kept kicking me out, actually, and to the point where I had to stay out the last time, and I moved in with my mom. And so my mom ended up turning on me because I wasn't basically being a little boy in her house. So she was calling me her enemy and everything. So I had to make a decision to either go live with my father or live in my car. And so I decided to live in my car because going through everything, I just knew that going to live under someone else, it just wouldn't work anymore, and it kept not working. So I just decided to live in my car, and I had a job at the time, so I just said, screw it, I'll go and work, and I'll keep working, live in my car, and then I'll eventually find my own place. And so for 2 years, I lived in my car. That whole time, I wasn't able to see my daughter because the mother kept blocking my phone number and everything like that. And I kept trying to communicate with her, kept trying to send her money for my daughter, everything. She wasn't trying to talk to me. And so eventually what happened was she ended up going to court, and she got the court to basically not allow me to see my daughter unless it was unless another person was with me, while I'm visiting my daughter. And so long story short, now that I have my own place, I fixed my credit. The whole time I was homeless. I fixed my credit, got my apartment. I have a job now. I'm an electrician, and so I have a skill. I have a good pay now, and so everything is wonderful now because I've been focusing on what God says and to just be to listen to what's right and live truth and everything like that. So. On New Year's, I decided to unblock everybody that I had blocked on my phone. And then not even like an hour later, my dad texted me. He said, hey, I'm going to call you tomorrow. And he didn't call me that next day. He didn't call me. So I decided to call him because I wanted to forgive him. And so I get on the phone with him, and he's like, hey, so the first question he asked me, he says, what's your problem with me? Why are you mad at me? And I said, I'm not mad at you. I used to be mad at you, but I'm not mad at you anymore because I understand you did your best. And even though your best wasn't the best for me, I can't be mad at you because you did the best you could. And he accepted it. He didn't really understand what I was telling him, but I wasn't saying it for him to understand. I just told him so he could hear me say the words and maybe he could understand later on. But when I told him that, he said that my daughter comes over his house.
Wow.
And so, because my baby mama contacted him, and because now that I can legally have visitation with my daughter, that now the mother is calling me a deadbeat because I told her I'm not going over to my father's house to be with my daughter because I'm not going to be a father the way that you are making me be a father. I need to be a free man. I need to be a father the way that I need to be, and I want my daughter to be with me. I don't want to be controlled by this court system and everything. And even before all of this court stuff happened, I kept trying to contact her to be with my daughter, and she was on purpose not letting me see my daughter the whole time.
What an evil woman.
Yes. And so I told my father, I said, listen, I know where my daughter is. I know where she is every day. I think about her nonstop all day long. And the devil, he tries to tell me these things, like all of these terrible things that could possibly be happening to my daughter and everything, but I don't listen because I know it's just a thought. And so I just continue because I know she's going to be okay. And even if she's not okay, I can't control what's happening right now. So I told my father, I said, listen, I have to be a man, and I have to, at the end of the day, when my daughter can think for herself when she's about 14 or 15, then I can explain to her, I can ask for her forgiveness. I can explain to her that I just had a baby with the wrong woman and it had nothing to do with her.
But make it up because of time, bring it in.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So anyways, I explained it to my father, and he still didn't understand that either. But the main reason why I'm telling you all of this is because I know without having to bump my head what's going to make me bump my head. I know now based on what you've been telling me, based on what you've been saying, all the content that I watch from you, you show me the light to understand God's truth, and that's letting me know that even if no one understands why I'm doing what I'm doing or agrees with me, I understand it's the right thing to do. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for making me feel comfortable making my own decisions, and I've reaped nothing but benefits from it. Every time I make a decision based on God, I've reaped nothing but blessings. And I wanted to say one quick thing. When I pray now, when I talk to God, not your silent prayer, because I do your silent prayer, but when I do my own prayers, I really don't say anything but thank you. That's all I say to God is thank you, because nothing else comes to mind
right
to
on.
say to him.
That's deep. That's amazing. How old are you?
I just turned 30.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with the prayer. Watch those thoughts and just let your life happen.
Yes, sir.
And you're right. You gotta, now that you can see what's right, you can't have any concern about what anyone else think about it. You find yourself standing alone, but that's what it takes to take this journey. You must travel this journey alone. So that's amazing, Ray.
Thank you, Jesse. And I just want to say one last thing real quick. All of my brothers, my siblings, my mom, my dad, everybody, my dad updated, because my phone call with my dad was about 8 hours long. It was crazy. But he told me everything that's going on in my family, and everybody is still doing the same bull crap that they've been doing.
Yeah.
And I'm the only person that's actually been growing and improving my life. So that just lets me know right away that I made the right decision, living on my own, sacrificing, and then now I have everything I need. And I can build for my daughter when God brings us together.
Right on, man. Amazing. Well, stay with it.
Thank you, sir. Thank
That's
you, Jesse.
amazing. Thank you, man.
to all the show. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome, buddy. That's amazing. Amazing story. Sean is out of Florida. Sean, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay, you're back. Okay.
Happy New Year, Sean.
Thank you. You too. I'm kind of on one of your previous callers.
I remember you.
And then today it was a caller. He was talking about his wife. Her attitude changed when they got married.
Oh, the white guy that's married to a black woman.
Yeah, I'm just touching. Well, I think the key word is like when women get caught up on the word obey, and but that's what they're supposed to do to their husband and submit to him. But I heard it a long time ago. Have you ever heard this? It's a Latin word. It means to hear. Obey means to hear. So
nice.
hear him, right? So that if you're hearing him correctly, that's something that leads to you kind of beginning to comply to what should be done. And then he said that with women, he didn't, you were correcting him on not hating women. And he said he didn't have any interest in, a woman this or that. But really a woman's place as a wife is to be his helpmeet.
Yes.
I'm correct about that?
Yes.
To help her husband meet. She's a helpmeet. She's walking with him.
Right.
And submitting to his leadership.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to give you a little quiz to see what you think. Do you think that civil rights should be changed to the word human rights?
Well, there are no such thing as civil rights or human rights.
Okay.
Because all of our rights come from God only.
Oh, so that it should be God-given rights.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's a simple but profound understanding and adjusting the label.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know that Jesus is Hebrew. Do you think Jesus in his flesh form is black?
No.
Like people think? You don't? Okay.
No.
Uh-huh. He's dark.
Yeah, he may have been dark because he's from the Middle East, right? And
right.
They tend to be dark over there. But he wasn't black like us.
Okay. All right.
Are you light-skinned black or black?
I'm a Hershey chocolate bar.
I like Hershey.
Hershey chocolate bar black.
Like Hershey.
Chocolate.
Nice.
And so, okay, the support. Okay, when I said that the experience I had, and getting the enlightenment, that I saw that the white man wasn't responsible for everything he was getting blamed for.
All right.
And I saw that even people that look like you can be doing the things that the white man is getting blamed for.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do you believe that every human being, every person, no matter what color he is or she is, that they were called to responsibility not to support the systems that, like that uphold, like mistreatment, bias, discrimination? You just called to not uphold the systems that do that to people.
Well, what it is, we are called to overcome the world, overcome the hell that's in us. And then for those that don't want to overcome the hell in them, let them be in the world and of it, and let them suffer and die. Let them kill themselves.
Okay.
Because we're not supposed to feel sorry for them or cry for them or anything. Even God doesn't force you to overcome your hell. He'll let you live right here on this earth until you die in your hell all the way. But if you want to overcome the hell that's in you, he will cause you to overcome it.
Right. And it's all on your choice.
It's all on you, on each individual, and you can't blame anyone for it as an adult.
Right. Okay, and lastly, men affirmations. Am I correct? But isn't it a verse somewhere in the Bible that says men are the strength of the earth?
And the light of the world is salt of the earth.
So any man that's doubting himself and whatever, he may not be where he wants with his leadership skills or his ability, but he is the strength and the light, the strength and light of the earth. That's why
he may be a weak strength, but he's still a strength. He's been turned away from the Father. He's weak. He's like a weak son, like a sick son of the family, but he's still of the family.
So when in the Garden of Eden, when Eve got away from Adam, that's when the serpent approached her.
Yeah.
Because he knew that Adam would see him. Adam was in the light of his mind. He would see him for what he was, and the serpent wouldn't. He didn't even try it with him.
Right, because he knew he couldn't deceive the man. He can only deceive the woman.
He got to her when she was at a distance from him because the man is her covering.
Right. She went out to the store to get some greens and candy yam, and he was at the market.
And well, years ago, one of my friends.
He was doing a smash and grab.
Yeah. Well, I asked one of my friends years ago, and it was a female friend of mine, and I was talking about that. What should have been Adam's response when Eve brought him, well, whatever it was, whether it was an apple or whatever. And
right.
My friend even said then he should have said, should have told her to get away from me with your evil self.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
But he listened to the woman, and now we're suffering because he listened to the woman, and the woman listened to the devil, and the devil became her God, and now we're catching hell.
And they were all playing the blame game in the end.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, one more thing. Isn't the man supposed to present his wife? He's got the skills within him once they're discovered to present his wife as a vessel, like.
Once he overcome his mother, he will be able to do that because he will no longer try to get love or anything from the woman, but he will give her love that comes from God.
And she will.
And then she will have no other choice but to obey him.
Oh, okay.
Amazing. Let me just say this. Sean, call me again. An amazing call. I'm running out of time here. And
okay.
But I love talking to you.
Okay, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Super chat.
Super chats.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Christian from Denmark bought a coffee asking, will you live forever, Jesse? I hope so, ! You changed my life for good.
Yes, I'm going to live forever. Thank you. Amazing. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Amazing.
Siona Witsion bought a coffee. Hake, don't transfer your illegal aliens disease. Alien emoji. Bad guy emoji in a video game. Fly and mosquito emojis. To my boo, Jesse, Sean the Poet. That's his nickname for Sean.
Amazing. Thank you. See, I've been trying to tell him. I appreciate it. Thank you for looking out for us.
Hannes O'Callaghan bought 3 coffees. Question for Jesse. Why is it so hard to explain this new world I'm born again into? I think the devil is trying to stop me from fellowshipping. Every time I write a super chat, my mind goes blank or it gets chaotic and double-minded, accusatory, blaming, I don't want to be a burden somehow, etc. How should I face this chaos?
By overcoming the thoughts. Overcome the thought, you overcome chaos. You want to live a no-thinking life. All right? So let the thoughts go and you'll be free. Thank you.
Sparky bought 5 coffees. One of the points that is presented in AA goes something like this. That is
alcoholic.
Yeah, Alcoholics Anonymous. I keep on thinking affirmative action. We had to face... Yes. We had to face the proposition that either God is everything or else he is nothing. God either is or he isn't. What it was our choice to be. Arrived at this point, we were squarely confronted with the question of faith. We couldn't duck the issue.
Nice. Amazing. Thank you.
And shout out to the top contributors, N Strand, Zealous something, and Adult something, Misty, Kid Combo 1.0, and the rest of you guys. Thank you for the lemons and ice creams and subscriptions. That's cool.
Amazing.
And thank you guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very, very much. Amazing. Let me go quickly to Chris. Chris has been waiting a long time. Chris, you're on the air.
Hi, sir. Thank you for having me on the air.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to quickly talk about the silent prayer and how it's very important and how I think people are missing it.
Make a long story short because of time only.
Yes, sir. When we have these thoughts, they're connected to the devil, right? So they're just distractions. So, everything that you want to do that's good in your life, the devil's going to throw stuff at you, and it's through mostly our thoughts or our feelings. And, we don't keep what we want to do or outcome, to do good. It always gets jumbled up and gets messed up, and we always get distracted. So, like, when we do this silent prayer, you're teaching yourself how to focus on observation, focus on one thing, and that's
you don't want to focus. You don't want to focus on anything. You don't want to have any ideas. You don't want to have any plans. You don't want to focus. You just want to observe. It's like looking out of the window and noticing that it's raining, and all you're doing is looking at the rain, and the rain is doing what it does. But you're not connected to the rain. You're not identified with the rain. You have nothing to do with the rain at all. You just want to observe.
And when you observe, you realize it's a waste of time to put your energy into those things.
Right.
And then you get your power back. And then when you apply that to other things that are going on in your life.
What power is that?
Just your power of, instead of wasting your observations, and like being emotionally invested.
Well, Chris, let me do this because of time. The machine's going to cut us off. Call me next week if you can, all right?
Okay, will do. Thank you, sir.
All right,
buddy.
Good. Okay. I am so out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. TheHakeReport.com. He's back. See you on Sunday. Stay on that straight and narrow. Travel this road by yourself. Stay there. The kingdom of heaven is within. Perfect peace is at hand. You can have it. All right, I'm out of time. And to the callers, Rick and Corey and the other callers, I'm out of time. Thank you all for an amazing day. Stay with the prayer if you want to. It's up to you. Thank you for your super chats and D-Lives and all that. Take care.
So what you planning to do? You understand in the move? You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
You must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling The one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.